Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Monday, November 17th, 2014 meeting of the Lewis County Board of County Commissioners. All three commissioners are present for a full quorum. We begin with the flag salute. Commissioner Schulte.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I move that we approve the minutes of November 10th, 2014.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. There is no public comment. So, do we do the recognition now?
Chair, I move to approve the proclamation.
Just a minute, Bill. We've got a recognition. We're going to recognize United Way this morning for the work that they do in the community, and I think somebody wants to make a statement. I don't know who that is. Debbie, you going to talk? Good for you.
Angela.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Debbie Campbell, United Way of Lewis County Executive Director, and with me today I've brought Angela French, and she's our Resource Development Director. We are here to thank the county on behalf of the United Way Board of Directors, the agencies that United Way assists in funding, and then the folks that are utilizing the services that the agencies are funding. We're here to thank you for all that you have raised during this campaign season, you and your employees. It is so wonderful to have a group of commissioners like yourselves that really from the top support United Way and allow us to come into the organization, make workplace presentations, in assuring that your employees know at least about what services are available in our community. So for that, we want to thank you. We want to present you with this plaque today and thanking you again for allowing United Way to do what we do in the community and to support us in every turn that we make. Thank you.
Debbie, before you step down, I'd like to recognize one of our employees that support United Way with the Cookie of the Month auction, and Kim Amrine with her Cookies of the Month. Her auction item alone raised $375.
That's amazing. That's great. No, we appreciate it. It's because
If
of
you don't know who Kim Amrine is, it's a nice lady back there. It's all red.
With the big red face.
you want her to
Kim,
stand
could you
up and be
stand up?
recognized.
We would like, in fact, I would like all of the employees that are here that are volunteers for United Way to come forward, and we're going to get a picture. Delane, do you have your camera? I thought you probably did.
Yes. Let's do it up here in the front. Hi, good morning. Oh, very nice.
On behalf of the United Way crew here at the county,
Yeah.
I'd like to present you this check.
Oh, wonderful.
For the amount of $4,820.00.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Wow.
Well, it's just
Get right up front, and everybody come up here for a picture. And you and I
oh, I thought I was going to get away with it. Here we go. We good? Got them all.
Now, Bill. Now you can make the motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the proclamation proclaiming November 21st as National Adoption Day in Lewis County.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. Commissioner Fund, will you read that into the record, please?
Yes. Proclamation proclaiming November 21st, 2014 as National Adoption Day in Lewis County. Whereas Lewis County recognizes the importance of giving children permanent, safe, and loving families through adoption. And whereas there are an estimated 408,425 children in foster care in the United States, and more than 100,000 of them are waiting to be adopted. And whereas more than 30,000 children, quote, age out of the foster care system without ever finding a permanent home and family. And whereas outreach to adoptive families have been identified as a critical step in moving children more quickly out of the foster care system and into loving homes. And whereas to help these children find permanent, nurturing families, Lewis County Superior Court will celebrate National Adoption Day on Friday, November 21st, 2014, joining other courts nationwide. And whereas this effort will raise awareness in communities of the many children waiting to find homes, giving them a chance to join new families. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Lewis County Board of County Commissioners proclaim November 21st, 2014 as National Adoption Day in Lewis County, and in so doing, urges all citizens to join in a national effort to raise awareness of the importance of adoption, done in this open session, this 17th day of November 2014, Board of Lewis County Commissioners.
Just a comment, I've had the opportunity to attend the adoption ceremony that Superior Court had last year, and it was very moving. The kids were just really, really excited to finally have a permanent home, and I think it's just really a heartwarming experience to go through that. So that is going to be the day, I understand, the 21st is the day that
Yes.
they're going to have that ceremony again. So it's well worth going to.
Yes.
Any other comments on the proclamation? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
I move that we approve the notice agenda, items 2 and 3, resolution number 14-300 through 301.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Mr. Elsey.
Morning, Commissioners. Tim Elsey, Public Works Director, speaking to item number 2 on your notice agenda. And this is a call for bids for the solid waste tipping floor scale project. Bids are due to the clerk of the board by 11 a.m. on December 16th, 2014. And this is resolution number 14-300. This contract will provide for the removal of the existing scales and the replacement of 4 steel deck platform scales and associated electronic controls. This call for bid also sets out a mandatory on-site pre-bid conference at 11 a.m. on November 20th, 2014 at the solid waste tipping floor facility. This will allow us to move the current decks so that the proposed contractors can see what they're dealing with when they put in a bid. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Patrick Babineau. I'm the Senior Long-Range Planner for Lewis County from the Department of Community Development, and I'm here for Agenda Item 3 to talk about Resolution 14-301, Notice of a Public Hearing concerning the approval of the existing countywide planning policies for the county to be held before the Board of County Commissioners at a public hearing on December the 8th to get public testimony. Any questions?
So it says here, there's no need to change, so we're just readopting the.
Readopting the existing countywide planning policies for this year.
Gee,
That's
how do we
right.
get away with doing that? Usually we have to change something in order to get it through.
Lee, aren't the fees part of this and we change them separately?
Yeah.
And then the 6-year transportation plan is also part of that. So this is
This is the overall plan.
the
overall.
overall
Right.
umbrella.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, Patrick. Any other questions on the notice agenda? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Notice agenda is approved.
Mr. Chair, move to approve the consent agenda. 4 items, resolution number 14, TAC 302 to 14, TAC 305.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. Resolution 14, TAC 302 is regarding the payment of warrants. In the last week, there were 354 regular warrants issued by the county and approved to be for a total of $1,309,207.68. Suzette.
Good morning, Commissioners. Suzette Smith, Auditor's Office, Financial Services Division. Here to speak on consent item number 5, resolution number 14-303, closing the Special Revenue Fund Gambling and Fraud Enforcement Fund number 165. This fund was established in 2010 for the purposes of reimbursement requests consistent with RCW 9.46.231. It had a closure date of December 31st, 2013. At that time, we had some interest allocations that were still coming in. All of the interest allocations have been received. The excess $5.86 is being remitted back to the state of Washington gambling per the RCW, and it is now time to close that fund.
Good.
Questions?
Thank you. 586, huh? They'll be able to balance their budget. Is Bill here? Nobody's here to speak on this. Item number 6, 14-304 is approving a modification of a participating agreement between Lewis County and the Forest Service for managing noxious weeds in and around the forest, and I don't see the amount here. But
I think it's the modification 8, and it just extends the period. There's money still in it.
Oh,
So they've
okay.
extended the period through October 31st, 2015.
Okay, very good. I see a modification. So all we're doing is extending the date.
Date to complete the work.
Okay. Archie?
Morning, Commissioners. Archie Smith with Lewis County Human Resources. I'm here to present item number 7, resolution number 14-305, approving a contract for public defense indigent defense services for Defender of the Day. Basically, what has occurred is Mr. Schroeder, Robert Schroeder, has given his notice. We went out with a RFQ. We received responses for that RFQ. Miss Jolie O'Rourke, who is in the audience, if you have any questions of her today, submitted an RFQ as one of the applicants, and she was the person submitted. The contract negotiations have completed, and we have all agreed to terms according to the contract.
It's quite a bit more than I offered her.
Could you have her, could you come up and introduce yourself? We'll
Yes,
just get
Billy.
you on the record, and welcome aboard.
Good morning. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Jolie O'Rourke.
And you just came over from the prosecutor's office,
I was with the prosecutor's office for a little over 5 years, yes.
and now you'll be our public defender.
Yes, thank you.
For a day.
Yeah, yes. I find
For
your-
the day, not a day.
I find your Julie, I find your previous background interesting. Could you give us a little synopsis of what you've done before?
Sure. I went to the University of Washington, then on to Gonzaga Law School. Shortly after I graduated Gonzaga Law School, 9/11 hit. That motivated me to go into federal law enforcement, where I became a special agent with the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, where I did general crimes, and then for a year and a half I did counterterrorism. After that, I came to the prosecutor's office in Lewis County, and I was there for just over 5 years, where I did mainly sex crimes.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for stepping up. That concludes our testimony on the consent agenda. So if there are no further questions, I'll call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, we have a couple of hearings, or a hearing. 2 hearings.
Bid opening.
Oh, bid opening. I'm sorry, Bill.
Williams with
I'm
Lewis-
sorry, I apologize. Skipping over you.
Isabel Williams with the Lewis County Sheriff's Office. I'll be opening the firearm bids.
And get, okay, she's got my over there.
We have a bid from Surplus Ammo and Arms out of Tacoma, Washington. He did include all the appropriate paperwork. And his bids is as follows. On lot number 1, he has bid 1 new Glock with the appropriate night sights and 3 law enforcement high-capacity magazines, plus 100 rounds of 40 caliber 180 grain bonded Winchester duty ammo. Lot number 2, he has bid 1 Glock, the required Glock, Model 22, Generation 4, 40 caliber handgun with the appropriate night sights and magazines, plus 200 rounds of 40 caliber 180 grain bonded Winchester duty ammo. Lot number 3, he has bid 1 new Glock Model 22, Generation 4, 40 caliber handgun with the appropriate night sights and high capacity magazines, plus 50 rounds of 40 caliber 180 grain bonded Winchester duty ammo. Lot number 4, he has bid 1 new Glock Model 22, Generation 4, 40 caliber handgun with the appropriate night sights and high capacity magazines, plus 200 rounds of 40 caliber 180 grain bonded Winchester duty ammo. He did not submit a bid on lot 5, so he did a total of 4 lots for 4 duty weapons and ammo in exchange for the weapons that we have in trade. And this is the only bid that was received, so we do reserve the right to not accept it if it's not appropriate. When I leave here, I'll be meeting with my range master, Dusty Breen, who will help us value what our guns to determine if this is a viable bid. We did receive one other bid, but not within the time frame, so it's not accepted. Do you have any questions of me at this time? Okay.
Thank you.
I thank you very much.
Bless you. Now we have a hearing on the transportation improvement project for the year, the 6-year transportation improvement plan. Procedures are follows. We will receive a staff report from Mr. Elsey and staff, and then a question and answer period will follow, and then a hearing will be held to adopt the 6-year transportation improvement program. Tim?
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Elsey, Public Works Director. There are copies of the proposed tip on the rail if anyone would like to have a copy of those. As you're aware, pursuant to RCW 3681-121, all counties are required to prepare, adopt, and submit a transportation improvement program for proposed road and bridge construction work for the ensuing 6 calendar years prior to the county's budget adoption each year and after a hearing thereon. Copies of this program will be furnished to the Washington State Department of Transportation, the County Road Administration Board, and the Transportation Improvement Board not more than 30 days after the adoption by the legislative authority. Pursuant to WAC 16, all counties are required to prepare, adopt, and submit an annual construction program for proposed road and bridge construction prior to the county's budget adoption each year as well. A copy of the adopted annual program and appropriate resolution shall be forwarded to the County Road Administration Board within 30 days of its adoption, but not later than December 31st of each year. When you take a look through our 6-year transportation improvement program, you'll notice that it will include how we go about the planning process, and I'll talk about that a little bit. And it will also discuss our 6-year transportation revenues, the external funding sources, funded project summary sheets, unfunded projects for future construction, the annual construction program for 2015, the annual bridge report, the 5-year road equipment purchases. When we go through our planning process each year, we go through a priority array of funded projects, and it was created based on criteria which include traffic volume, pavement rating, geometrics, accident history, and safety improvements, regional and local significance, geographic equity, maintenance offset, supplemental funding, constructability, and permits. Input is also received from Lewis County's bridge inspection program regarding bridges that need major repairs or replacement. The annual bridge report was submitted to you earlier this month. Bridge projects proposed for design and construction in 2015 include bridge pier scour mitigation of the Euler Road Bridge number 201, P.L. McDonald Road Bridge number 63, and replacement of the Lincoln Creek Bridge number 31, and finally, replacement of the Looting House Road Bridge number 87, which is already under construction.
Did you say finally?
Finally?
Finally.
Yes, I did.
He did say finally, I heard him.
Yeah. Thank you. The 2015 construction program includes countywide pavement preservation, the annual construction program, and flood repair projects, which total $10.18 million. Of that $10.18 million, $6.04 million will come from external state and federal funding sources, and the remaining from local funding. In 2015, we anticipate designing and constructing the following projects: the annual 3R project, Federal Forest Road Improvement Projects, King Road Rehabilitation Project, the Davis Creek Bridge turnarounds at US 12 intersections, Highway 603 stabilization, design and construction, Looting House Bridge number 87 construction, Lincoln Bridge number 31 design and construction, North County Industrial Access design, Centralia Alpha slide and safety design, and Roundtree Road slide repair design and construction. Prior to this meeting, we've had a public outreach effort for involvement in the development of the TIP, which included presentations to the Transportation Strategy Council, the Lewis County Planning Commission, and the city and town mayors at the October mayor's meeting with the Board of County Commissioners. All the meetings included a PowerPoint presentation, description of the proposed projects, description of selected criteria and process, and comment sheets for use by the public. Would you like for me to go through details of the annual construction project or program or the 6-year TIP?
It's available to the public.
It is available and we have copies.
Good.
Are there any questions?
Yeah, I already spoke to Tim this morning, and I think it's a note. I would like to see more projects on the east end of the county, on the tip. They're sort of lacking, Tim, and I know you've given me, I'd like to just ask you what the plan is for East County. You said that there were some projects that were included in the treatment process, so I'd like to identify those projects if you would.
Sure, and the 3R, which of course means restoration, resurfacing, and rehabilitation.
Really? You got it. Nailed it.
Next year will include 1.26 miles of Center Bar Road, 0.8 of a mile of Howell Road, 1.8 miles of Isabel Road, and 0.6 of a mile of Boone Road. And while it's not reflected in the specific projects on the tip, I will say that since 2010, prior to this 4.4 miles of road that we're going to do next year, we rebuilt 23.2 miles of road, and 14.6 miles came from the east end, from East County, with 8.6 miles being for the rest of the county. And that's because of the condition of the road, the priority rate that we had before. So it does appear that we do more for the 3R program on the east end of the county, but there's a huge percentage of the roads that are over there. And the roads were in really bad condition over the past 5 years. So rebuilding these roads was the appropriate thing to do.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I appreciate that Borst Avenue, listed number 22 priority, is still there, and
Yes, it is.
it's an issue that's been ongoing, and it's still, it appears that there could be outstanding funding coming down someday for that, so look forward to it.
And you will also notice that we've included a rail project on the latest tip.
Any questions from the public? Ron?
So Ron Averill, 2523 Graff Road, Centralia. I think there's a project on here that's older than yours, Bill, on Looting House Road. That's the round tree road slide, which, as my memory recalls, preceded my election in 2006. It's been on the books there for a long time.
First week I was in office, Ron, I got a phone call from the lady that...
I'm sure you did, and she is expired, but I'm glad to see that time rolls on and the project's actually going to go, so thank you much.
And that was a project, it was a slide project. There were several different alternatives, no cheap alternatives for that project, unfortunately. But what we have done is this past year, we purchased property at the end of the road, and we're going to be able to move the road, and that will be included in our 3R project for this coming year.
Any other questions from the public? Then I will close the question and answer period and open the period of testimony. Tim, would you like your previous comments to be incorporated into the hearing?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody signed up for public comment? There's no one signed up. Would anybody like to make a additional comment on the transportation improvement plan?
I would like to make one, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
I would like him to highlight all the finally projects, like Looting House,
The final
Davis,
project?
Finally, Roundtree, finally.
The finally one.
Finally one.
Finally
project.
one.
The finally.
We could add Davis Creek Road on that. That predates Looting House by a year and a half. So yeah, we could put that on there finally.
King Road is another one of the finalists.
King Road.
So we appreciate that. It may not appear that by this comment, but we do.
Absolutely. And, one of the things that we've noticed is that, especially with the external funding that we receive, the SDP and the RAP funds, we are finally catching up with those projects. But due to, we had so many flood projects after the 2006, 2007, 2009 floods, that a lot of the funded projects set and they languished. And so we're getting to a point where we're catching up, we're getting those built, and we're starting to get ahead of the process at this point.
Tim, just for summary, could you just give us the total amount for next year that we're going to anticipate doing construction for all programs?
I'm sorry?
For all programs?
The 10.18 million?
That for all the roads?
That's
for next
correct.
year? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments? Then I'll close the hearing and proceed. Are we voting on this today, Carrie? We are, aren't we?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll proceed to
Okay, move
entertain a
that
motion.
we approve the 2015-2020 Transportation Improvement Program TIP and the 2015 Annual Construction Program ACP Resolution Number 14-306.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Are there any other further comments or corrections, additions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I move that we go recess until the evening 2015 budget presentation, which will be right here at 5:30 this evening.
Second?
Okay, so we are moving into recess until 5:30 this evening. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. We are in recess.